All right, man. Today is Wednesday. It is January 4th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Chief is joining again today.
I'm back.
And Danny's here.
Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year, boys.
You already said that to me yesterday, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to acknowledge it.
It's too late to say Happy New Year.
Well,
What is the cutoff for that, you think?
Like
The corporate world cutoff. Like if you're sending an email, like how long, I feel like you can do it this whole week.
You could, but I'm good after 48 hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like here's the thing. Every corporate person is doing it this week.
Because it's like rude if you don't, in
Yes,
a way. Like,
it is, 'cause
you
it's
have to
like-
break the ice of having not talked to them in like 2 weeks.
Like it's like a crash landing if you don't. This is like a nice trampoline landing.
It's like you're mad if you didn't say Happy New Year.
I took an Uber home yesterday, and the Uber driver said it to me as I was getting out of the car, and I was like, so that was the second? Today's the third, right? Yeah, it was the second. The guy's like, oh, hey, Happy New Year. And I was like, begrudgingly, like, nah, yeah, you too, Happy New Year. Yeah. So,
Well, hey, regardless if it's New Year's, middle of the year, later in the year, Miller Lite is always a great beer. So from holiday gatherings to office parties to fireside conversations and football Sundays, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. A new year is a perfect time for friends, family, and the great tasting light beer. It's Miller time. I mean, listen, we're all Miller Lite guys in this room. You're wearing the jacket.
yeah, it's a lifestyle for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I drink Miller Lite all the time. No ad, but we're doing an ad, but I love Miller Lite. And this is, to me, like this, I think this might be my favorite drinking season because
He's a winter guy, Chief.
I'm a winter guy. You have NFL playoff football, and I really try to soak up the end of the football season as much as I can, and you have to pair Miller Lite with the playoffs. That's just the way it goes. So I'll be doing that all January long.
Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. Made from simple ingredients, Miller Lite is for people who love the taste of beer. Malted barley gives it the rich, balanced toffee note flavors and golden color you know and love. And a clean finish means it always is refreshing and easy to drink. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. And what are you pointing at?
I didn't know that it was toffee noted.
There you go.
Yeah,
Now you know.
I mean, I can see that now, but like I loved it without even knowing that.
Now you know.
Mm-hmm.
Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you. Or you could pick it up anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
I've noticed that at some point in my life, I've said like every different season was my favorite time of year to drink. Like winter, because you're just inside all day.
Mm-hmm.
You need something to do, nothing else to do, drink. Spring, it starts getting warm again. St. Patrick's Day, you're like, oh, this is the best time to drink. Summer, it's hot out. Every season.
And there is something about specifically the winter beers, like if like Dave and I went to this unbelievable dive when Smitty was in town. I can't remember the name of it. It was in River North. Great dive. Like cash only, Miller Lights, like very limited options for beers. And there's something about like coming in from the cold and you're in the hot bar, you like take your jacket off and they hand you a beer. It's like that. Like there is something about like, whew, all right, now we can sit down, relax, and have a beer.
Yeah,
So
winter
it's
is dive bar season.
Yeah.
Correct.
Dark
You took the
dive
words
bar.
out of my mouth. It really is.
You've been on kind of a social media run of dive bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been kind of hitting them all. That's like what I enjoy doing now.
Some deep diving.
Yeah. That's just what I enjoy.
I have certain bars I go to when it's snowing heavily.
Which one?
Well, should I give them all away? I actually have a lot of options near me because, weirdly enough, I live on a block that has like 2 great German bars. And like a German bar is an all-time snowed-in bar.
So you're just like, man, it's snowing. I could go for this bar?
Yeah, I like walk across the street and get like big German beers.
Wow. Look at that.
What neighborhood are you in?
North Center.
How about that? That's good. I was going to say my drinking season is the summer. I don't drink a whole lot in the winter, but I do like the dive bars in the winter.
Yeah.
You're right. Like
Maybe that's a podcast series, YouTube. You get into a deep dive in a dive.
Deep dive.
Whatever the topic is, you just do a deep dive in a dive.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. We should also note as well, everybody, that the Barstool store is it's back up and booming for the for the new season here. I'm holding the 312 polo by Roback. It's a nice polo. It's a dry fit. We got the Travis Matthew Barstool Chicago patch hat, the varsity premium hoodie, the Chicago retro snapback. We got a bunch of good stuff in the store. Go to store.barstoolsports.com. Go buy your merch. We appreciate it. Did you guys do anything? Anything happen? You said you went hunting, dive bars.
Yeah, did a little hunting. Didn't get anything. But yeah, the dive bar, River North. He had a nice meal, Chicago Cup with Smitty when he was in town. But it is to me like we don't get much time, like actual time off where the company's down. I do my best to do nothing.
Yeah.
And mission accomplished. I did fucking nothing. It was great.
I have a complaint.
Let's hear it.
I went to New York for a day. You know, we don't talk enough about how airports are not synced throughout the country, and it makes no sense.
What do you mean?
Okay? The bin system is fucking stupid. So you go to O'Hare, and this is what I relate to the most. O'Hare, New
you're
York.
talking like the TSA.
Yes.
That drives me crazy
The
too.
bin system fucking blows.
How are the bins different?
So TSA in Chicago O'Hare, you just throw your bag up on the conveyor belt that goes through. LaGuardia, Newark, wherever, you put it in the bin, and you're playing Tetris to shove your bin to the conveyor belt. So like it's you and like all the people in the line next to you. And you're like, it's a game of fucking hungry hippo to see who can get that fucking bin up next.
Yep.
And it's stupid.
And it comes up from underneath, like it
Yes.
autofills, like
Yes.
it's almost like a Pez dispenser of those
Yes.
bins. And then so you're like
Yes.
racing, grabbing with all these different ones.
Yes.
And then next time you'll go there, you'll be like, and then I think those are the ones that don't make you take your shoes off sometimes too. Like there's just somewhere that's just like, well,
Yes.
whatever you fucking want.
Yes.
I thought TSA was supposed to be like a national agency.
Should be uniform. And then
Yes.
some of them, it's like, hey, you got to take the large electronics out. Some you don't.
Right.
I'm pre-checked now, so I don't have to worry about any of that. But not to brag, but the bin thing drives me fucking up a wall.
I got a problem with pre-check too.
It's getting too mainstream.
Yeah, everybody has it.
Yeah, but it's still pretty breezy. But it is.
What is it, like
pretty
$100? I've never got it because when it was like first coming on the scene and I wasn't traveling enough, and then I was lazy, and then now I feel like I'm not traveling enough again, and now I also feel like everybody has it. Like I don't think the lines are.
I think it's
that big of a
worth
difference.
it. I think it's
If
worth
everyone's VIP, then no one's VIP.
Right.
Yeah. So this says like.
Then they're just gonna upcharge you for like the double pre-check.
Also, some airports stacking bins is encouraged. Others it's forbidden. At the end of the line, there's bins
Yeah.
everywhere. You're trying to get your stuff.
It's
Think you're being a
forbidden?
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say don't. And one of the New York ones, it was
Because I always try
because
to be
they
like the Good Samaritan
because
type
some
thing.
have that thing at the end that takes the bins down, but it doesn't work if they're stacked.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm with you on that. You got to have some. You would think that this uniform agency would be able, and it's not like it's crazy infrastructure to like have a different setup for
Why?
Just
Like,
pick
why?
one. Just pick one.
If you're I need someone out there to give me one argument for the bin because I can't see how you're pro bin.
Have you had a TSA guy on before? You have,
I have,
right?
yeah, I have.
A guy from our neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. You know him,
Got
yeah.
to bring them back.
So I have global entry. It's $100 for 5 years, and TSA you get TSA with global entry. I think it just like it makes if you go like to Europe or overseas a little easier, and then
For all your trips to Russia.
yeah, I've never been to. But yeah, that's
I
my.
appreciated that. He just glossed right over it.
I don't think you heard me say Russia.
Well, yeah, I was just saying in general that I'm not a
You're
world
not
traveler.
traveling
Yeah.
globally.
Yes, but you're a good pickup.
Thank you.
That was my biggest beef. I traveled for one day, and that was like
What were you doing out there?
I went to Stu Finer's show at Sony Hall. Stu Finer and Joey Diaz's show.
I gotta
Did
ask.
you smoke weed with Joey?
No, I did not. There will be footage on. I believe there will be footage on stool scenes. Of my day with Stu Finer.
Was Tom with you?
Tom was with me, yes,
Okay.
producer Tom. I was in New York for 19 hours. It was just a quick 19-hour trip, and I basically just flew out there to have dinner with Stu.
19 hours
Was
of
it a
New
nice
York.
meal at least?
Yeah, we had a nice meal. We went
Yeah.
to some Italian place,
Okay.
and what were you gonna say?
19 hours in New York is like 4 hours here. I feel like you blink and you're gone from New York. But I've said this before. Eddie smoking weed backstage with Joey Diaz for the first time at a comedy show may be the worst scenario to smoke for your first time.
Yeah,
Well, I also feel like he's got different steroid weed too. It's Joey.
he
Diaz.
does.
Oh, yeah.
He does.
And
it's,
he's been known to like give people a couple extra milligrams without them knowing it.
Yeah. He said that it's actually he says something like that in his act. It was really funny. The show was great. Had a comedian named Tara and Eleanor and Lee Syatt was there, and it was the show. And Stu was great too. Stu does like a little.
Where was it? What club?
It was at Sony Hall. It was on a club actually. It's like an old school where it's like right on Broadway.
So was Stu like opening for Joey, or are they just doing a show together? It was just like
Stu was opening. Stu was
nice.
the first act.
Wow.
Stu was the opener, and he comes.
He doesn't
out
even
there.
need a mic.
Yeah,
true.
he doesn't. He's so fucking loud.
His voice is a natural
So
megaphone.
How many minutes did he do?
Stu?
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. He kind of just like.
He's the ultimate like get the people going guy.
Yes,
the
correct.
crowd.
Yeah, but all the comics were really good. It was a really good show. And in Sony Hall, it was a really cool venue. It's like not a traditional stand-up place. Like they do more Broadway-y shit, so to speak.
Okay. Burlesque.
Yes, but I really enjoyed it.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
It's a New Year's resolution of mine, even though I don't really like those. And I had actually decided it before, so it doesn't count. But I'm going to do an open mic.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm going to try to do it by April. And I think, seeing Scott do it, darling, I've seen him do his zanies. I've seen him do his open mic. I think I could put together 5 minutes for an open mic. And I want it. I've never done it. I'm gonna do it this spring.
Nice.
So
Good for you.
Let's go.
That's a nice goal.
you guys have. You've done
I
both
feel
done
like
Second City kind of stuff.
I don't
right?
know. What do you think? That show I did with Bader at the for
That was
for the
good.
police.
You did well.
Like I did 3 minutes.
And you were also like a host, so they weren't
Yeah.
expecting a full
Yeah,
10-minute set from you.
Yeah, so it was literally I just walked up there, talked for like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and I did like a little quick joke. But like it was, I don't know. That's like the closest I've come to it. I'm not gonna say I did it at all, so please don't say I'm not trying to say that.
But like you've done like performative.
Kinda, bro. It's more like you took a class.
Okay, but there wasn't like a thing. At
No.
the end.
There was nothing like that.
All right.
I've done it. I've probably done an open mic like 5 times, and then I did like a live improv show at Second City. Open mic. I mean, the first time I ever did it, I actually surprisingly did pretty good. The next time was Third time, crickets. Like it was harrowing.
Was it like the same basic material every time? Like,
no, I was definitely trying new stuff out when I shouldn't have been. In hindsight, you listen to all these like Joe Rogan podcasts, like keep doing the same act for like until
a year.
Yeah.
Craft.
And like I don't know, I was just, but they're also like open mics, just a chance to try new material.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just had wildly different crowds. Like one was like all students, the other was like all old people. So I was like, fuck.
You know what I noticed about the open mic that I went to for Scott? It felt like there wasn't really an audience. It was just people who were also doing the open mic. And you had, at least in that crowd, you had 2 guys who laughed at everything, like obnoxiously,
Warriors.
like insanely loud. And then everyone else was like trying not to laugh. Because like they want to be like the person who gets the most laughs. And it was like a weird like competitive environment, except for the guy who was clearly like, if I laughed the loudest, they'll laugh for me. Like, and like it was.
I had not realized how much that affects the comedian, or at least some of them, I should say. Like, did you see that thing with Akash? He's the one that he does a podcast. He does Flagrant 2.
Yeah, he's been here.
Yeah, he's been here with Andrew Schultz, and he had a whole thing where he like roasted some guy who was at his show, and he like wasn't laughing, and he went in on this dude, and
But that was not an open mic, right? That was just a show.
That was a show, yeah, because the guy was just kind of sitting there stone faced. I didn't know, and he's like, and he kind of talked about it afterwards, like how much it fucking fucks with you when you're on the set, because you see a guy like and it mentally,
yeah, like what the fuck's your problem?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And it's like they always tell you when you're doing public speaking, and I'm sure this is like similar to stand up to a degree, like it makes you feel more comfortable if you make eye contact with like a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
So if you're one of your people that you keep making eye contact with is this person who's like, fuck you, that wasn't funny, that I think that would be tough to deal with.
Yeah.
No,
and right. It's in my short experience, it's hard to gauge if what your jokes are actually funny at an open mic, because everyone is just trying to memorize their own jokes. Right?
Oh, that's a good
like
point
paying
too.
attention.
Yeah.
They're not there for, if they want to see a comedy show, they go to a comedy show, not an open mic.
Yeah.
So it's just all comedians hitting the batting cages.
Did you like it?
I didn't. I probably should have stuck with it longer, but I wanted to like write more. But knowing, like hearing, like, oh, it's gonna take 10 years before you even see any success. It's like, I don't know if I like it enough to
do that.
to stick it out that long. Because like if you aren't going to like 2-3 open mics a night, like traveling around the city, or you're not taking it seriously enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
Scott does it like 6 days a week.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, you got to keep sharpening that pencil, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like you brought up a good point too, and like the awkward part for me, like when I did that one little, I'm not gonna say set, but when I did that 3 minutes, whatever, when I opened the show, was it's weird to like wait for people to laugh or expect for people to laugh, and that's where you're like, yeah, it's like odd,
That's why you always hear the comedians at the end just like they'll tell a joke and be like, because like in case no one, they'll have a little buffer word in case no one is laughing.
Yeah.
It's like that. I feel like it was the speech, Dwight's speech in The Office, where Michael Scott had like written out like in there like hold for applause.
Yeah.
Like,
Pause for laughter.
Pause for laughs.
Yeah, you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
And like I was kind of just like fucking mowing down like what I was saying, and then like people were laughing. I was like, oh shit, I should have let that breathe.
Yeah.
But that's all part of the
That's
part
like
of
a
the craft.
practice.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get like, well, you were gonna puke before you go on?
I was very nervous every time. I never got less nervous.
Okay.
yeah.
If that answers your question.
Because I'm trying to think if there's any. I've never done anything on stage except for when I was at prep school. They had our entire like senior class had to deliver a soliloquy from Hamlet, so Shakespeare, in front of the whole school. So that was like the only time I've ever been on stage. And I fucking hated it. I had to do like the big, like the King's speech. I can't remember what it was. It was 2005, but it was horrifying. And it was like I won't have the best memory anyways. So trying to remember like 4 paragraphs of fucking Shakespeare and then doing it on stage,
having to say doth and shit,
all that shit.
Yeah, dude. There's people who like the lights, and there's people that don't.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't really love it, to be honest.
No, I don't like being. I think if I were in shape, I wouldn't hate being on camera.
So if you were just fucking chiseled,
right? Well,
I don't mind camera. I'm saying like at a show, it's like because when it's a little different when it's live and people are there and people paid. It's just a different scenario, but it's not. I feel better about it now than I did when I first started.
Okay.
Like and also easiest format ever is like the dozen. Like I don't mind that.
I don't mind that at all either.
Like that's fine. We haven't done a live show in forever since like 2019.
I think it was. Yeah, it must have been 2019.
Yeah.
Because I think we did, it was 18 we did the Jewel, and then we had like, that was like the worst day ever of this job, where we did the Santa Baby bar pop up. That was
tough.
That was
and
terrible.
diamonds.
Yeah. And like everyone's like, no one was there for us.
Yeah,
so then we're like, they cut the music and like had us just start talking.
It was tough.
They're like, dude, like shut the fuck up.
It's a tough show.
Yeah.
You know what I find so wild, and this is very regionally specific, but so there's some huge bars around Wrigley, right? Deuces and Diamonds, and Cubby Bear, etc. And during the Christmas season, they turn into the 12 bars of Christmas for T-Box. And these same bars that me and all my friends have been going to for years after Cubs games and whatnot, instead of being like, hey, let's go to whatever, Deuces and Diamonds after the game. Like, hey, I think we're going to stop at Elfed Up after the game. I'm like, why are you seriously calling it that? As if like we're going to know their new Christmas names. Yeah.
That is crazy. But they changed because I live up there now, and I live, I love it. Guthrie's Tavern.
Oh yeah.
So Guthrie, it's a nice dive.
I thought they closed.
No.
They reopened.
No,
they closed during quarantine.
Oh, they did?
COVID for a little
bit.
bit.
So it's right at the end of my street, and it's the Candyland bar.
Okay.
So they have like the whole bar is Candyland, like the board game theme, and it's like I walked in there, I don't know, maybe a week before Christmas. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like Martha May who was decorating.
Bro,
those
I had
places.
that not to be, I'm sure we have a lot of Chicago listeners, and I'm sure we do not have a lot of Chicago listeners, but not to
They get the gist.
Not to keep it too specific,
Yeah.
but I was having this conversation the other day. Like, how about like the Ricketts in Wrigleyville? Like, what a genius idea to bring that Kindle's Market inside the stadium. Like, they bought that neighborhood like December, and I think it's still going, right?
So
January. I think it's still going.
I don't know if the Chris Kindle market's going, but the inside the stadium's got to still be going.
Yeah,
the skating
yeah.
rink.
Like, there's people buzzing around there. Now.
There's a bar inside there, like a glass. Have you been in?
No, I haven't been in.
So Dave and I went there.
Sunday.
It was on the most recent episode of Stool Scenes, I believe. And Dave and I went, and I didn't know, like, I thought it was just going to be like a sheet of ice. It wasn't. Like, the scoreboard was all lit up, beautiful. They had like carnival games. They had this great big bar that was on like the third baseline, kind of over by like where the Cubs dugout would be.
Yeah.
It was sick. It was like I would definitely like come back here, and even the bar would just be a good place to hang out. Like they did a perfect job. And I remember in 2019, I pitched a pond hockey tournament to Erica, and she ended up doing it. But the way I pitched it was like, let's do it in Wrigley and Fenway. And the Cubs were hot for it. Like, I talked to a guy with the Cubs. He's like, we haven't generated any revenue from this stadium between October and April in 110 years. Like, as long as the stadium, like, we would love to find a way to get some revenue out of that in those months. And now they have. Like, it was great. It was a great time.
And just like, so for people that don't know, like Wrigleyville, like you said, from when the Cubs end in October to April it's a dead zone for
there are certain bars legitimately
shut
closed down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I also had another observation that I was upset with during my travel.
Let's hear it.
So, like, all right, drew the baby behind me, which is fine. That's part of traveling at this point. But the baby was great. The baby didn't act up at all. The baby, great guy. Like, fuck, would have a beer with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, good dude.
Yeah.
Baby didn't say shit, didn't cry, nothing. But the parents, the baby talk was at a volume of like 8.8. Like, at what point, like, the baby talk was driving me more nuts than the baby. At what point, like, I understand if the baby's acting up, you need to get the baby talk going. You need to start jamming the baby talk to get the baby in the right, formation. But at some point, I was like, this lady's driving me more crazy than the fucking baby.
Yeah. I can't do baby talk. Like, I have a nephew who's not really talking yet. He's 1 in some months. I don't know exactly how, and I don't know when they're supposed to start talking. Then a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old nephew. I have not been able to do like the baby talk, even when they're babies. I'll just be like, "Oh, what's up, man?"
Yeah.
I talk to them like they're 25 because I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Just going straight to here's your toy.
Yeah.
Eat your food. But baby talk, like, first of all, you have to be speaking in caveman to do baby talk. Like, I get a kick out of the moms who are just like, do you want to go check out the new exhibit at the park later this afternoon? Like, just keep it simple. We're going for a walk.
Yeah.
And then when they start getting mad and they're still baby talking, like, come on, like, they're telling him to eat his food, and after a couple times he's just not getting it, and they're like, eat your nummy. Like, don't do that. You'll get an ouchie. That always gets me going.
Yeah.
But were they like, are you saying they were like speaking in long sentences and baby talk, or they were just saying too much baby talk, like, get in your seat, like, it wasn't necessary?
It wasn't necessary. The baby was acting perfectly normal and it was behaved, and they were overbearingly loud and over talkative in baby talk.
Can we hear your baby talk?
They were
say, hey buddy.
How old was this baby?
You have to go an octave. If you don't go at least an octave
they
higher.
were like, dude, they were wheels on the bus round, and at some point I was just like, I can't believe this. I got locked in. I was like, all right, I strapped in. I see the baby. I was like, all right, I know what I'm in for.
Do you think the baby was like on your page? Like, man, like, I wish my parents would shut the fuck up on this flight.
Dude, I think he might have.
Yeah,
he might have.
We this is a couple Christmases ago. So my newer brother-in-law is
congrats.
He's Christian. He's Christian, like, and so he wanted to give oh my God, what's the blessing before like our Christmas meal?
Grace.
But like, I don't know, he doesn't call it grace because he's something else. And
freestyle grace.
Yeah,
personal prayer.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was like that.
Okay.
And I'll say that it was like going on a little too long. Okay. All right. It was like, all right, bro, like, enough. Like, we get it. Like, we do
God is good. God is great.
Right.
Let's see what's on our plate.
This was a long grace. My nephew
It's a good one.
Benny, he's 4 now, so I think he was like 2, like had just 18 months, had just kind of started talking. And so he's like doing it. He gave him the hook. He goes, and Happy New Year. So that was like, they like interrupted him like, enough, like your speech is over. And he just like, he's been telling everybody Happy New Year during Christmas, like Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. He like cut off Grace. He was like, enough of that. Like he ended it by saying, so he had this baby and like we all like applauded him. Like thank God, like, got us out of this grace.
Realistically, how long are we talking?
I mean,
like
I'm
8
used
minutes?
to the normal probably not 8 minutes, but like you're starting to worry about like your food temperature a little bit.
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
That's
is
like longer than a
fucking long
homily.
time.
I know.
Yeah, but I would say
5 minutes?
legitimately probably pushing closer to like maybe 3 to 5 minutes.
Really?
That's a long grace. Like Catholic grace is what, 30 seconds?
I was gonna say if it starts getting over like 50 seconds, I'm saying Happy New Year.
Yeah, and that's what like, but like he's like the new member of the family. And it was just like, well, you can't just be rude on fucking Christmas dinner, but thank God for the baby.
Was he
like,
offended?
No, like everybody kind of laughed.
Really?
Yeah. And like, I'm like, this
In
is
closing.
yeah. Yeah. But like from that moment, I'm like, this is my guy. Benny.
Benny's giving the grace prayer.
Shout
next
out
year.
Benny.
Shout
See,
out
Benny
Benny.
and this kid would get along great.
I'm sure he
Like,
would.
They'd be
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yep.
fucking keep the graces to a minimum and keep the baby talk to a minimum.
Every family party, when we all sit down, I tell all my family that my younger brother has decided to give the personal grace prayer this year, and he just always has nothing, and I just watch him fold from across the
I
table.
hate all those, like, let's go around the table, say what you're thankful for, too. Like,
Oh, yeah, we don't do
ugh,
that.
Yeah, no. Or your resolutions. Like, I'm not telling you shit.
Give me a break. Yeah. You can't say them out loud. You got to move in silence.
Right.
Resolution talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Wait, New Year's Day though. I remember you telling me your dad has a tradition on New Year's
He does.
Day.
My dad has a tradition. He doesn't spend money on New Year's Day.
At all? No.
No.
What is that?
He
I mean, that's not hard to do, I don't think.
Hey, if you're a holiday, New Year's Day might be one of the harder days to not spend money on, if anything. Like
Why
a
do you
lot
say
harder.
that?
Well, it's just a lot harder than an average Sunday where you might be on the couch all day, or just a standard, weekday in February. I feel like it's a lot harder to not spend money on a holiday than it would be just a normal day on the calendar.
Do you agree with that? For that day, for New Year's Day?
I mean, I've noticed that it seems to be more of a tradition that a lot of people kind of go out more on New Year's Day now. Mm-hmm. But
Like, is your dad like stocking up beforehand, like going to the grocery store a couple days
Make
before?
something in the slow cooker the day before.
no, I think
Filling
it's
up
just,
the tank.
it's a superstition. He's just like he's like, if I spend money on New Year's Day, that means I'm going to spend a lot that year. So
So we're keeping this year in the black.
That's exactly. That's what he always says. So
Yeah.
this year actually was the first year like in my life that I noticed where he texted me. He's like, yeah, I'm getting bagels tomorrow. Let me know what you want. And I'm like, hey,
What's
it's
going on?
Jan 1. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be getting bagels. Like, you're breaking your resolution. He's like, what kind? What cream cheese? Like, completely didn't like whatever.
Answer the question.
He had no time for like nonsense. Like, and he just like, I'll put it on your
the
doorstep.
tab.
Yeah. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting superstition that he has.
I actually don't hate that, and I don't agree with that though, because I feel like I'm not a big go out guy in general, but New Year's Day to me is I make a big pot of chili, and then I sit there and watch sports all day long.
Yeah.
So
Well, what about good gambling day?
yeah, does that count as spending money though?
Good Uber Eats day.
See, it's a lot of places are closed though.
Yeah,
that's the
why
problem.
I do the chili.
That's the problem.
Don't get me wrong. If you prepare to not spend any money that day, you can
Yeah.
easily not spend money that day.
Yeah. Someone did recently reverse it to me though and say like, hey, dude, like, because everyone says New Year's Eve is for suckers, which I kind of do agree with, and I'm kind of over, and I think,
Yeah,
but whatever. That conversation is
that's a young person's.
yeah,
time.
and
Yeah.
that conversation has been.
It's an all-time house party day, though. People don't talk enough about that.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. But and this guy's like, hey, New Year's Day is like that. That's the day to go out, and I'm like, all right, I could maybe warm up to that.
But I think the idea is that you're so hungover from New Year's Eve.
yeah, you're tired.
Yeah, but why don't you just
But if I'm
reverse the
not
curse?
going out really on New Year's
Yeah.
Eve, then
You got to pick
Yeah.
one. You got to pick one
Yeah,
at our age.
or just be
do you
a
like
fucking
getting dressed
savage.
up? Because that's like a dress up holiday. Put a nice sweater on.
Put the quarter zip on and
Yeah.
fucking head out to town.
Yeah.
Grab a fucking bottle
Yeah.
and say, how we doing?
Yep, there you go. No,
That's whatever. I know you do.
I haven't dressed up for anything outside of a wedding in years.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you wear to Christmas?
Oh, we have it. It's called it's like a joke. It's called Brandel tuxedo. Everyone wears sweatpants.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm stunned by that.
Yeah. No one really does. Like my mom.
You're dressed nicer right now.
Yeah, definitely nicer
Really?
now. Yeah. Shout out Muggsy. But yeah, definitely dressed nicer now than on Christmas. My mom went to church, so like for a good portion of Christmas Eve, she had nice clothes on. And someone said, like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you go get changed? Like,
Put on the Snuggie.
Yeah.
I for sure thought you'd be
No.
chestnuts roasting over the open fire
you
kind
can
of
do that in
sweatshirt.
sweatpants. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
we used to have all of our holidays with our like extended family they were from Yorkville. And then the families kind of just got too big, you know, like they've had a whole mess of kids. My sisters have been popping out kids. And it was just like, there's too many people at this table. So we kind of like split instead of having 40 people.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since the split, everyone's just like, no, this is the most casual. Thanksgiving's like that. Christmas is like that. Easter's like that. It's just very chill.
Pajama parties.
Yeah,
I love
basically.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You know, y'all know each other there.
Who are you trying to
impressing?
impress? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, do you have that thing though where you're like, your sister always wants the picture?
Yeah, true.
That's the problem. My sister always wants the picture. It's like,
we do the picture every year,
Yeah.
but the picture is like, it is preposterous now because it's on my parents' steps, and we've been doing the same picture since I was born. But like, you sit on the steps and wait to go down and see if Santa came, and we still do that. And now it's like my brother-in-law, my older brother-in-law, who's like 45, something like that, 46, his 2 kids, my dog, my sister's dog, her baby, her husband, like there's like 10, 12 of us and the dogs and then my dad. And then we do like Christmas morning at my sister's house because they have like the little kids who know what Santa is. And then we go back to my parents and then we do that picture at like lunchtime. Stupid.
okay.
But that's the only picture we're taking.
Yeah.
And you're in pajamas for that too.
Christmas morning, like I wake up with the picture in the back of my head. Like we have to get the family picture out of the way today.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And once there's kids, it's so much harder.
Smile.
Yeah.
Do baby talk.
That was my mom like took the pictures at us. Oh, we can't see George. I'm like, no one cares. like, the dog does not need to be in this picture. Like, let's move it along.
Yeah.
You get a couple more likes with that dog in it though.
Yeah, that's true. Did you get a haircut?
Me? Yeah. I got one the day before Christmas Eve, and that might generally be the busiest day for barbershops.
I think you're probably right because everyone's getting ready for the picture.
Yeah. That's true. But when I was there was a guy, one of the barbers, there's like 4 barbers. I waited like an hour and a half. And at one point, one of the barbers goes to the back room. He takes a phone call mid-haircut, and he comes back, and like the other barber was like, everything all right? And he was just like, I think he said like Jamie, like his wife's name or something. And he was like noticeably mad. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I want a mad barber cutting my hair. Like this guy has a razor and scissors around my brain. You know, when you're mad, like subconsciously, you're gripping things a little tighter.
True.
You're adding a little more aggression. But luckily, I did not get it.
Survived.
Yeah. How do you feel about a mad barber though?
He's
you don't
fucking-
want your surgeon having a shaky hand.
I feel like he's more at risk than anybody. You know, he's gonna fucking snip those fingers.
Sure, and I get
You know what I
his
mean?
blood all over my head.
I think you're wrong about that. Like your earlobes are in jeopardy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
always
true.
are.
Yeah.
That's true. The earlobes are.
Yeah.
You're definitely passing up on the shave after that too.
Could you imagine?
I've never done that.
Me neither.
I shaved my face yesterday morning. I buzzed
You've never gotten a shave?
like a straight edge razor shave?
Oh,
No.
sorry. You get the neck shave though, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
That's the whole reason I go.
The
Yeah.
hot towel where they
Yeah,
like
oh.
something out of Mad Men, like old.
It's
you know,
nice.
Yeah.
It's
I just
nice.
don't have like.
Yeah, I don't get it no more because I'm,
Well, and it's like I don't have like good enough facial hair to feel like to
Yeah.
justify it.
Yeah.
So. But I told myself I'm in that 108 weight loss challenge, and I told myself that I was gonna treat myself to if I got my chin not as fat, then I would treat myself to a like a nice
Fresh
barbershop shave. Yeah, but we're trending in the wrong direction after all this, so
Hey, it's
that
all right.
might have to be at 2024.
It's Jan 4,
Yeah.
and you'll get it by May.
Yeah, we'll see.
May before
Yeah.
summer.
There you go.
Before
Manifest
summer.
it.
No, I don't think you want an angry barber, dude. I would agree with that. You know, he's just gonna fucking buzz something extra off just because.
I feel like it's a pretty relatable take.
And then what do you say if he's like, "Does this look good?" You have to be like, "Yup."
Oh, no matter what. Yeah.
So I got one. It was actually Harry's guy, and I went to him one time, and he has a partner. First haircut, great. Second haircut, like when they're doing the clippers and they're like shaping it, he had like one of the teeth in the clippers was like out of like whack. I had like I was legitimately bleeding off like from the back of the whole back of my neck from when he was like buzzing across like a straight line of this cut. And he like put the mirror, and I was like, "How does that look?" And I could see like the blood, like the blood in the mirror.
Besides the blood.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's good. Like, just get me out of here."
Why do you say Harry's guy?
Harry recommended him.
Oh,
Oh no.
Yeah, he's not far from here.
I've had that happen to me like growing up too, and it's like, at what point is this? Do I know for a fact this is too painful? Like, this shouldn't be happening, and do I say something?
Or am I just being a pussy?
Right.
Yeah.
But then you just power through and have like a lifelong scar on your neck.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to say anything.
My mom cut my ear when I was like 4. It's like one of my earliest memories was like bleeding like crazy because my mom was cutting my hair and she nicked my ear. And I never like
Scissors or razor?
scissors. So like snipped it, and I was like legitimate. I don't think I have an earlier memory than that. And now, like, anytime something comes up, I'm like, well, you did snip my ear that one time. I was like 3 or 4 years old.
no, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the barbers. I had my barber is like real old school Italian. He's he's from Italy, and he speak whatever, you get the image. And one day I was there, and he was cutting like the younger kid's hair, and he was getting one of those TikTok haircuts. And we're talking about
The awning?
Well, yeah, it was. He had a fucking awning. Yes,
The peacock.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You want to talk about a 1 seed versus 16 seed? My old Italian barber was a mismatch. Like this TikTok haircut kid, like he was doing the best he could, but this kid was like, oh, how about just like a little bit more here and a little bit more there, and like my guy was just, you could tell he's
I think barber's got to fire the patient. What do you call it? Patient? Customer?
The
Well,
customer?
you just got to kick him out.
maybe.
Yeah, that's like abstract art to an old school
Yeah.
barber. Like, I don't like, usually I could gauge if this looks good or not, but you're asking for such weird things.
Yeah.
I don't understand that haircut either,
The awning.
because I feel like all the kids today have it. Like, I could never do that. My hair would just sit down like flat, like across my face. Like,
Is
I don't know how
it
they're
like
doing
real
it.
short on the sides you're talking about? That
No,
one? Or
like
just
it's like
the emo-
curly and floppy in front.
Oh, yeah,
like,
the mop.
Yeah, the mop.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But it's almost like they have to put like curlers in or something.
Yeah, I don't know how. I
It's
honestly
a mystery.
Are guys getting their hair curled at like barbers these
getting
days?
permed like that. I don't know.
My dad had a perm
Did
in
he?
the 80s.
Wow.
For one day.
One day, and then he said,
My
"I'm
mom
done
was
with
like,
it.
nah.
I'm done with it."
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it was fascinating to see in real time, because this kid was like, and like you could tell he was looking at someone on his phone, and he was like, hey, just like, and like he, sometimes when you're like, hey, just a little bit shorter. This guy made him recut it. Like this kid made him recut it 6 times.
That's ballsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It's not an old man's game.
no. But all right. Anything else?
I think I let it all out today.
Let it all out. That's it. I've been doing good at keeping my observation. That's
Keeping a list.
keeping
Checking
a
it
list of
twice.
my observations.
Yeah,
That's
I like
that's
that.
well, my airplane travels. I know a lot of people. Listen, I'll say this. I feel thankful to have my only complaints being about the bins and the baby talk.
I was
Considering-
going to say,
Yes.
you're trending towards a Mr. Portnoy
Yes.
Esquire situation.
Yes. Considering I
Yeah.
know there are people listening who had very worse situations based on the news,
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you. That sucks. Hopefully you have your bag and
You're able to travel.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I guess this lady at the bakery thought I was a weirdo. That's
Oh yeah.
What?
Tell us.
dude. So the weirdest thing ever. It was fucking. So I went to the bakery on New Year's Eve,
Okay.
and I was getting.
Like a party favor?
Yeah. I was getting something for a party,
Okay.
and I grabbed this, and I grabbed whatever. And I could see like. It was like the Popeyes meme where you could see the people out of breath because that's their busy season.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get the lady at Popeyes when the chicken sandwiches came out.
Jimmy Butler on the
Yeah,
side.
yes. You know the meme I'm talking about. And I could see, like, it's right after Christmas, like, and the bakery was dead. It was 2 p.m. It was New Year's Eve. They closed at 4. And it just looked like, and I was like, oh, so this is it. Oh, you guys are, this is the end, huh? like just saying like the busy season's coming to an end. And she's like, oh yeah, this is tomorrow it all ends, huh? Tomorrow everyone dies.
She thought it was like 2012.
Yeah, she thought I was like a doomer.
Yeah.
She said everyone dies.
The end is near.
Yeah. She said something like to that effect, and I'm like, oh no, like she thinks I'm a weirdo. That I'm saying like
she thinks you got your cardboard "the end is near" sign in your car.
She thinks I'm a fucking I'm a doom and gloom Y2K fuck, and I'm like I couldn't correct her because I don't know, it's just too embarrassing. So.
Yeah, you're getting into political talk with a baker.
Exactly.
The bakery lady.
Or maybe her just wires were so crossed because she was
She's
just
too busy. Maybe you said it weird. Have you considered that?
Yeah, probably said it weird. And I also do have a bad habit of saying stuff where I think people know what I'm saying, which you guys have said to me before.
Yeah.
Where like I think
the number one thing I say to you is, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
So then you're like, you know what I mean? I'm like, nope. You better explain it in a way that I can understand.
Yeah.
No, I went into a Starbucks once and I ordered a drink and I paid and everything. And I saw the cashier was still like fidgeting with the screen. So I was like, you good? Like you need my card again? I was like, you good? And she was just like, oh, well, as good as I can be here. And I was like, well, I was just asking if you need my card again, but I'm with you, sister.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Here's
that.
the card for a therapist. Sounds like
exactly.
what you need. Yeah.
God, that was so fucking funny though. She's just like, yeah, this is it. I'm like, no, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, like the busy season's over. You guys could fucking breathe for once.
That's one of those times where I wish they had like security cam with audio on it, because I know as soon as you left, they're like, this fucking guy.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Which is always funny.
I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, which is always funny when you realize like, oh, dude, I was like, they definitely thought I was the weirdo.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this receipt with the time and his name on it, just in case of anything here.
Yeah, great bakery. Yeah. I almost worked at it one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Eddie the baker.
Yeah.
My sister worked at a bakery as her like first job in high school. It's so funny to hear people working at a bakery coming home talking about like the problems at the bakery that day. Like, oh, I was on like cupcake frosting duty for 3 hours, or like I fucked up the spelling on a birthday cake.
Yeah.
It's like the premise of this show when people would come on, when you have the blue collar people on, they're just like, people bitching about the plungers not getting cleaned.
Yeah. It was Il Giardino del Dolce. It's on Harlem and Diversey.
Okay.
Right by great bakery. Great fucking Italian cookies.
Great bakery who does not think that the end is near.
Yeah, I apologize if I creeped you out. I almost drove a truck, dude. It was
a bread truck?
No, cake truck. And
cake truck.
I'm talking like 2016, 2017, right before we got this job.
Kind of recent.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're dropping cakes off at residents? Or?
Yeah, dude. This was dark days, bro.
Dude,
there's enough customized cakes out there to constitute a delivery driver?
I kind of think
that's
actually a very high stress job.
Probably.
Because you take that corner too tight and you go to put
Probably.
Cake is this frosting is all smushed against the box.
Probably.
They slip on ice. No, I wouldn't be able to do that job.
Yeah, dude. They
too clumsy.
No, yeah, they do more than just cakes though. Like they do all pastries, you know, and so it was just like a time where it was just, you know, I was working overnights at the fucking sports station. I was just like, I'll do anything for a day job.
Yeah.
So I sent it in. I'm like, hey, like they were looking for fucking bakery drivers, and it was like a 5 a.m. to like a 3 p.m. job, and I'm like, I apply, and then I remember I went in the first day, and I would go meet up with the guy, and he's like, hey, I gotta tell you, man, like the Howard Stern show. You're aware that this is a bakery, right? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I know. I just need to get out.
I need something else.
Yeah, dude, I just need something. I need a change in my life. I was down.
To fill the void with delivering cakes.
Exactly. So it was almost a life, dude.
Speaking of old jobs, I used to be a lifeguard, and
I did that for one day too.
Haven't talked to like anyone from there, my boss from there, in probably like 8 years. And over break, I got a missed call from her, and so I texted her. I'm like, "Hey, so I got a missed call from you. What's up?" And she just goes, "Never mind." And I haven't been able to sleep since. Like, what could she have wanted? You can't just hit me with a never mind.
You gotta ask.
I didn't.
Text her right now.
Just keep badgering.
Now it'd be even weirder because this was like 9 days ago.
You're like, hey, that never mind's been keeping me up at night. I can't continue to 2023 without knowing what that never mind.
Yeah, the
is
curiosity is
I
eating
think
me alive.
you might be able to topsy-turvy that whole situation.
How so?
You just hit her with a cryptic thing back, and if she replies and you're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna call her.
Yeah.
Hang up.
Or
You want to play this game?
Or just put the emphasis on whatever you said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question mark.
Yeah. And then she replies and you just leave it hanging.
It's like a mom though.
All right then, everybody.
All right.
We could wrap it there. Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
We might be back tomorrow. We might go over the 4P, Chief. We might talk about some
I got
electric
nowhere to
rail
be.
system, maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Electric rail?
Train system.
High-speed rail.
High-speed rail?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. And we might be back on Friday, too. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Might be doing something special.
Oh, eyes
I'll let you know.
emoji.
Eyes emoji. All right. That's it, everybody. See you tomorrow.